Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to a new playthrough on the channel, as ID Jester is first to join us here at Fenway Park, where as you can see we are all set to do a replay of Game 6 of the 1975 World Series using APBA Baseball. Now let me explain what I'm doing here, because I'm starting a little baseball sanity testing, what I call it, and I know I just spent about 2 hours this morning setting up the 2001 replay that's going to be in payoff pitch baseball. I've been sitting on concerns for a while, but I really haven't done anything with yet, where I'm worried that APBA Baseball has got these three modes essentially to it. You've got the basic game, which, just like it sounds, is very basic. Then you've got the Merino boards, which are supposed to give you a little bit of flavor to the game of baseball, and then the master game. So what I'm worried about is basic's going to be very simple, very quick, really no narrative to it. Master is almost going to be too much, and then the Merino boards are supposed to be that Goldilocks option. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to just run a test of all three of them. So I'm going to divide the game into three 3-inning blocks. The first inning is going to be in basic. Then the second I'm going to use the Merino boards. And the third, I'm going to use the master game. I'm going to try learning the master game, so you guys will probably get to watch me cuss and swear during it. One other thing I've discovered from my two baseball replays that I've done on the channel so far, those being the 1991 playoffs from my full season replay, which is also in payoff pitch, and then the entire season I did in season ticket for 1985, I've discovered that I want the stadium to matter here, as Philip Reynolds also joins us here at Fenway Park. As such, I've also taken the liberty of setting up to use the ballpark factors for this game. So we'll probably get to watch me cuss and swear with that. And I've got another video that I'm going to be doing probably later this weekend. Probably tomorrow afternoon sometime. I'm going to try my best not to rig the dice today, Philip. No promises. No promises, though, and don't yell at me with the rolls. So that's what we're doing here. I just want to make sure the camera doesn't freeze on me. And I'm also not using digital diamond for this video, because if you remember my video of inside pitch that I did a couple of weeks ago, I think it was right before I started into the off season from my 2009-10 Stanley Cup Final replay, I was cussing and swearing with digital diamond like you wouldn't believe. So sometimes simple and quick is the best, because you don't have so much time or your brain is spent. Sometimes hard and difficult is best if you want more crunch. Yeah, I get all of that. I'm just trying to find kind of that happy medium of where I tend to like to be with APBA 90% of the time. So that's kind of the idea of this testing that I'm doing. So, if we're all set, the fans here at Fenway Park are filing in for this replay of Game 6 of the 1975 World Series. So let's jump into the action rather than listening to me ramble. Starting pitcher for the Boston Red Sox tonight in Game 6. Of course, the 1975 World Series was between the Cincinnati Reds and the Boston Red Sox. Starting pitcher tonight is Louis Tiant. 18-14 with a 4.02 ERA, 72 walks, 142 strikeouts, 25 home runs, and 260 innings pitched. And of course, if the dice are rigged in the Reds' favor, we'll excuse it. Ha ha, Philip. Anywho, let's go ahead and meet the Reds lineup that Tiant is going to have to try to keep in check as we come into this with the Reds holding a 3-2 series lead. First up, we've got one Pete Rose, Charlie Hustle himself at third base tonight. Ken Griffey's in right field. Joe Morgan's at second base. Johnny Bench is catching. Tony Perez is at first base. George Foster's in left field. Dave Concepcion is at shortstop. Cesar Geronimo is in center field. And I've got a face-down card that I'm using to remind me when the pitcher's coming up. And Gary Nolan is the starting pitcher for the Reds tonight. And leading off for the Reds, we've got Pete Rose. Let's see, 317 average, 7 home runs, 74 RBIs in 1975. First inning, of course, is going to be in basic. So, if we're all set here, let's jump right into the action as Tiant gets the sign from Fisk, and he will pitch. That is a 25, which is an 8, and that sounds like a base hit. That is Tiant's a B pitcher, so actually that's going to be a fly ball into center field. Coming under that for the Red Sox will be Fred Lynn. He will make the catch for 1 out, and we are underway here at Fenway Park. Next up is the right fielder, Ken Griffey, probably senior. 305 average, 4 home runs, 46 RBIs in 75. Tiant looking at his pitch once again for the sign, and he will pitch. That's a 52. 52 is a 27. That sounds outish, and we are on fielding 1 for both teams. 52 is a 27, and that's going to be a ground ball over to third. Grabbing that one for the Red Sox is going to be Rico Petrocelli. He'll toss it over, and that'll be the second out of the inning. Next up is the second baseman, Joe Morgan. 327 average, 17 home runs, 94 RBIs in 75. Yes, senior. Okay. Kind of figured because I know Ken Griffey Jr. We might see a little bit of Griffey Jr. in 2001, so we'll file that away for the time being. But Tiant will get the sign from Fisk here, and he will pitch. 56 is going to be a 14, and I think that's going to be a walk. Yep, actually, Tiant is not as easy pitcher, so that'll be a walk for Morgan as he'll take a stroll over to first base. And that'll bring up the catcher, Johnny Bench. 283 average, 28 home runs, 110 RBIs in 75. And I will remember to change my charts because I've always had problems with that. Normally this is where we'd get fancy with some of the other systems, but not here. So Tiant will get the sign from Fisk, and he will pitch. That's a 12 for Bench. That's a 25. And a 25 is going to be a ground ball over to second. Grabbing that is going to be Denny Doyle. He will take that to the bag himself, and that will end the inning. Nothing across except the junior was the one who never won a World Series. Oop. That's 3 and the first inning. Nothing across for the Reds except for the walk as we get set for the bottom of the first. As I've got cards flying all over the place tonight. Always fun. Starting pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds, as I mentioned earlier in the batting order, is Gary Nolan. 15-9 with a 3.16 ERA. 210 innings pitched, 29 walks, 74 strikeouts, 18 home runs in 75. And with Nolan taking his warm-up tosses, let's take a chance to meet the Red Sox starting lineup. Leading off, we've got Cecil Cooper at first base. Denny Doyle is at second base. Carl Yastrzemski is in left field. Carlton Fisk is catching, a.k.a. Pudge. Fred Lynn is in center field. Rico Petrocelli is at third base. Dwight Evans is in right field. Rick Burleson is at shortstop. And, of course, the backup card, or the reminder card for Louis Tiant. And I've got to remember to pay attention to the ballpark factors. I'm so used to playing APBA Baseball without ballpark factors that I'm actually kind of forgetting I'm using them tonight. Anyway, leading off for the Red Sox tonight, as I mentioned, first baseman Cecil Cooper. 311 average, 14 home runs, 44 RBIs in 75. So I do need to remember, based on the situation for each of these players, I do need to remember to pay attention to the ballpark factors. So Cooper is a situation 3, so a 34 to 31 flyouts is what's going to trigger it for him. Anyway, Nolan will get the sign from Bench, and he will pitch. And okay, we did change our charts over. Now, Nolan will pitch. That's a 64, which is a 37. That's not going to help him. Actually, that'll be a strike unless Nolan's a W pitcher. He is not. So let me grab my other pegs so I can track balls and strikes. So that is strike 1 on Cooper, and we will pitch again. That's a 24. 24 is a 13. That sounds very strikeout-ish. And it is. He's not an R pitcher, so that'll be a strikeout. 1 down here in the bottom of the first. And next up is the second baseman, Denny Doyle. 298 average, 4 home runs, 36 RBIs in 75. Nolan, and we can take away the peg that I was using to track strikes. Nolan gets the sign from bench, and he will pitch. 22, that is a 7. And that sounds like it's going to be a base hit, and that will be a base hit into right field. Stepping into the batter's box now, we've got the left fielder, Carl Yastrzemski, a.k.a. Yaz. 269 average, 14 home runs, 60 RBIs in 75. Infield set for double play, purely narrative detail, but as you guys know if you've been around the channel for a while, you know I like my narrative detail. Just getting something changed up here. There we are. Anyway, Nolan gets the sign from bench, and he will pitch. That's a 65, which is a 35, which won't trigger the... That'll be a fly ball. That'll be popped foul that'll be popped foul behind the plate. Bench will toss his mask. He'll go get that. 2 outs in the inning. And that will bring Pudge to the plate himself, the catcher, Carlton Fisk. 331 average, 10 home runs, 52 RBIs in 75. Nolan looking in at bench for the sign, and he will pitch. 45 for Pudge. That's a 14. That sounds like it's going to be a walk, and it will be. Actually, he's a ZZ pitcher, so that will actually be 2 balls on the at-bat. Good thing I was paying attention to that. Nolan will pitch again. 43, that's a 29. That won't trigger the... Let me just double check to make sure. But I'm pretty sure 29 won't trigger anything for Fisk. It will not. So 29 is going to be a ground ball over to second. Actually, that'll be a ground ball back to the pitcher. Nolan will get that. He'll throw that over to first, and that will retire the side. Nothing across except the single for the Red Sox. We are scoreless here at Fenway Park after 1. There's my remote. That's what I was looking for. Second inning, and now I'll get the Merino boards because that's what I'm going to be using for the second inning of this game. There we are. Leading off the top of the second for the Reds, we've got the first baseman, Tony Perez. 282 average, 20 home runs, 109 RBIs in 75. And I should probably also mention that I'm using the basic rules for fatigue. I don't want to I want to keep it very simple as I'm doing this testing. Tiant will get the sign from Pudge, and he will pitch. 44, that's a 7. So 7, and I got to remember how the Merino boards work. He's a -1. Let's see, -1. In case you couldn't tell, it's been a while since I've used the Merino boards, so I got to refresh my memory on how some of this stuff works. Let's see. Oh, right. I think it's a 7. Can the pitcher screw with a... I'm trying to remember which rating it is that I need on the Merino boards. So Alright, never mind with the Merino boards. Since look at the master rating at the bottom of the cards. So I see an SA1 at the bottom of the card. So that's... I'm going to grab some scratch paper so I can maybe scribble some notes in case I decide I'm doing more with APBA Baseball. And I should have a writing pad. Or in case I decide I'm doing more with the Merino boards at least. Let's see, the master rating, I see a -1 down there. So, let's see, what did we roll? 44. was a 7. Oh, the pitcher's card, I see it's okay, so it's an 11. So 11 for the, I think, should have a number system on the bottom. I believe it's the number in parentheses, I believe. Actually, that would make sense. So the pitcher is going to be along the, if I remember the Merino boards correctly, now that you're starting to jog my memory a little bit, the pitcher numbers are probably along the top, and then I use the results to drop down and find the result. So 7, he's an 11. I rolled a 7, and I adjusted up or down based on the hitter's rating. So that's a -1, which means that'll turn it into a 6. Then I drop down to a 7, and I see that's still going to be a base hit. Doesn't really specify where. So we'll just kind of fudge it. We'll say that's a base hit over to short, or past short. Infield will go to double play, and we've got George Foster coming to the plate next. 300 average, 23 home runs, 78 RBIs in 75. And if the Merino boards are making me cuss and swear that much, the Master game is probably going to be even worse. But I do have the runner on first base ready to go. I do have that chart at least ready to go. Now what? Oh, so that probably made him a 6, which still... Stay on the 7, which was rolled. Which still would have been a single anyway. Adjust the pitcher rating up or down. So that's actually going to turn him into a 12. So 12, which is a 7, that's still a base hit. Actually, that's pitcher of 11. Okay, so master rating on pitcher. Adjust up or down on batter. Alright, so 11, which turned that into... And it's the opposite of the batter card, right? So essentially, if Perez is a -1 and Tiant's an 11, the pitcher becomes a 12 then, if I'm understanding that correctly. Yeah, clearly, you guys can probably tell it's clearly been a while since I've used the Merino boards. Okay, so yeah, it is the opposite on the batter card. That was a little bit confusing to me, but hopefully we've got that straight now. So that'll bring us back to Foster, and I changed out the... So a 7 on a 12 was still a single. So now that we've got that ramble all sorted out, let's come back to Foster. So Tiant will get the sign from Pudge, and he will pitch. That's a 65, which is a 35. That seems like it's not going to be... Let's see, he's a W pitcher. He's not, so that's going to get popped foul once again. Pudge will toss his mask. He'll go after that, make the catch in foul territory. That'll be out number 1. Actually, I think I forgot to... I must not have been paying attention to the outs. Here is the shortstop, Dave Concepcion. 274 average, 5 home runs, 49 RBIs in 75. Tiant looking in at Pudge for the sign, and he will pitch. That's a 54, a 32. Uh-oh. 32, I think, is a... So we're looking at fielding 1 on a 32. That should be a fly ball. But this is actually going to trigger the ballpark effects. So I calculated this before the game on the ballpark factors. So Cincinnati's got a +6, Boston's a +3, which means now we have to re-roll on the home run factor chart because we're positive. So we have to roll. So we have to roll on the flyout. Actually, we have to roll on. I was trying to read through this and see if it made sense. Okay, so if it's equal to or less than the home run factor, then it's the play result. This is a home run. The subsequent die roll produces a 14. Oh. Okay, so yeah, it's a fly ball. So now we re-roll on the ballpark factor chart. Their factor is a 6. So a 13 is a 3, so that's actually going to be a bomb by Concepcion. Boom! High, deep, gone. Home run, Dave Concepcion. 2-0 Reds. Arena groans. Ugh. Oop, I forgot to bring the infield to double play depth. And here is the center fielder, Cesar Geronimo. 257 average, 6 home runs, 53 RBIs in 75. Tiant has got to shake that one off. He will get the sign from Pudge. He will set, and he will pitch. That's a 45. That is a 14, which theoretically is going to be a walk unless Tiant's a ZZ pitcher, and he is not. So that's going to be a base on balls for Geronimo. Infield to sector double play, and that brings Gary Nolan up to the plate. And we don't have any batting stats on the pitcher cards. So Tiant now suddenly finds himself in a 2-0 hole. Excuse me. Tiant will get the sign from Pudge, and he will pitch. That's a 23. 23 is a 13. That sounds like a strikeout. And that will be a strikeout, as Tiant gets a much-needed strike 3 call. 2 down. And that brings us back to the top of the order, as here's Rose. Rose tonight is 0 for 1. He flew out his first time up. Tiant trying to get out of the inning with no further damage. He will get the sign from Pudge, and he will pitch. That's a 21, which is a 31, and that's going to trigger the home run. That's going to trigger the home run roll again. So 31 would be a fly ball to center field. So we're going to mark this as an F8 question mark, but because it was a 31 roll, we have to see if the fly out stands or if it turns into a home run for Cincinnati. A 53 is not likely to turn that into if it's equal to or less. Okay, so the fly out stands for Rose. That'll get lifted into center field. Lynn will come under that. He'll make the catch, and that will retire the side. 2 runs on 2 hits and a walk. A 2-run bomb by Dave Concepcion, and it is now 2-0 Reds as we get set for the bottom of the second. Nolan finishes up his warm-up tosses as stepping into the batter's box to lead off the bottom of the second, we've got Fred Lynn. 331 average, 21 home runs, 105 RBIs in 75. Nolan gets the sign from bench. He will set, and he will pitch. That's a 66. That's going to be a 1, which sounds... Actually, we check the to 12, which is going to turn into a 13. And that's going to cut the lead in half with a boom! High, deep, gone. Home run, Fred Lynn. 2-1 Red Sox. Stadium cheers. Yay! And here's the third baseman, Rico Petrocelli. 239 average, 7 home runs, 59 RBIs in 75. Nolan, gotta shake that one off. He will get the sign from bench. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 22 for Petrocelli. That'll be a 7. So now we've got a 12. Minus 2 will turn him into a 14. And that still can't take that won't take a single away from Petrocelli. He'll get on with a single as the Red Sox are suddenly humming here. Infield will go to double play depth as Dwight Evans will step into the batter's box, the right fielder. 274 average, 13 home runs, 56 RBIs in 75. Remember to change your charts. Nolan is suddenly facing some carnage here in the bottom of the second. He will get the sign from bench. He will set, and he will pitch. 63 for Evans is a 32. Is he in a I think he's in a situation where he would trigger that as well. 32, he is situation 3. So yeah, 32 will trigger that as well. And the Red Sox looking to do some damage here, but they're only a 3. So they've only got 3 chances at it. And as soon as I say it, an 11's a 1, and the Red Sox, just like that, have a 3-2 lead. Boom! High, deep, gone. Home run, Dwight Evans. 3-2 Red Sox. Stadium cheers. Yay! And we've got Rick Burleson coming up for the Red Sox. 252 average, 6 home runs, 62 RBIs in 75. And with 2 homers in the inning, we've got a 3-2 lead. I didn't think Fenway Park was this much of a hitter's park. Now I'm curious. I don't know how I feel about these ballpark factors. I want to look this up now. Because I want to see if the Sports Reference shows me how many home runs were hit at Fenway Park in 1975. While we look that up, though, we're going to continue as the Red Sox now have a 3-2 lead and there's still nobody out. Excuse me. Nolan will get the sign from bench and he will pitch. That's a 42, which is a 32, and I think Burleson triggers it as well. Burleson does trigger it as well. There's something, I don't know, I'm either doing something wrong with these ballpark factors or they're way unrealistic. 64 is going to be, the flyout's going to stand though. That'll be a fly ball. Let's see, that'll be a fly ball into right field. Coming under that, unless he's a K pitcher, he's not, but coming under that will be Ken Griffey. He'll make the catch, and finally, that's the first out of the inning. And now we've got the pitcher, and now we've got Tiant coming to the batter's box. Let's see if Sports Ref is all ready for me, okay? So we're probably going to be loading this in steps. Nolan will get the sign facing his counterpart from bench, and he will pitch. And, of course, a good one under the business card holder. 23 for Tiant's going to be a 13. That sounds very strikeout-ish. And it is. So that'll be a strikeout for Tiant, 2 down. And that'll bring us back to the top of the Red Sox order. Here's Cooper. Cooper tonight is, so far, 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. Okay. Seasons. Well, while that's loading, we'll let Nolan get the sign. Okay, here we go. Nolan will get the sign from bench, and he will pitch. That's a 62, which is a 13. That also sounds strikeout-ish, and it is. So that will be Cooper's second strikeout on the night, and that will retire the side. But not before the Red Sox take the lead. 3 runs, 3 hits, 2 home runs in the inning, a solo bomb by Fred Lynn, and a 2-run shot by Dwight Evans. It is 3-2 Red Sox after 2. Let's see. Batting. Do we have batting sorted by stadiums? Well, we'll start with Boston at any rate, because I'm still curious about how many home runs were hit at Fenway Park. This total, so 1975 Red Sox hit a league-leading 213 home runs. But that total includes both home and away games. What I'm trying to find, and I'm not sure if Sports Reference is going to give it to me, though, is I want to see the home runs I want to see just the home runs that were hit at Fenway Park. And it looks like for 1 year, looks like batting actually was a hitter's park. Actually, let me see if ChatGPT will give that to me. Because now I'm kind of curious, and I'm admittedly a little bit scared of pulling out the master game because that's what the third inning is going to be in. Alright, so while ChatGPT is pulling that up for me, I'm going to go get I've got the master game all set to go, so we're going to try that for the third inning. And leading off the third inning, we've got Griffey Sr. Sr. tonight is 0 for 1. He grounded out his first time up. Wasn't able to locate a credible source. Oh, delightful. So ChatGPT, let's see if I'll have it try to dig a little bit deeper while we continue to play here. Let's see, that's for all games. So Fenway was hitter friendly, and it doesn't look like ChatGPT is finding anything. So let's come back to business at any rate. Tiant will get the sign from Pudge, now with a 3-2 lead. Tiant will set, and he will pitch. That's a 54. That is a 32, and that seems like it's going to trigger that as well. 32 is going to be a fly out to right field, but we've got to check the ballpark factors as well here, and Cincinnati once again is a 6. So I'm going to grab a pencil so I can note the, whoa. There we are. So that's a possible F9, but we got to see if the flyout stands because they're a positive ballpark factor. And a 25 does not seem like it's going to get out of here. That's an 11, so no. The fly to right will stand. Getting under that is going to be Evans. He will make that catch for out number 1. And here's Morgan. Morgan tonight has a walk. Tiant will once again get the sign from Fisk, from Pudge, and he will pitch. 21, that's a 32, which I believe will also trigger the ballpark factors. It will. Morgan is a 2, so yeah. Actually, that's only with no outs, so never mind. It won't trigger that. That's going to be a fly ball into, what did we say, 21, 32. Right, that's going to be a fly ball. That's going to be another fly ball to right field. Getting under that one, once again, will be Evans. He'll make the catch for the second out of the inning. Here's Bench. Bench tonight is 0 for 1. Tiant will get the sign from Pudge once again. He will set, and he will pitch. That's a 32, which is a 26. And a 26 is going to be a ground ball over to second. Grabbing that for the Red Sox is going to be Doyle. He will throw that over, and that will retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Reds here in the top of the third. Stays 3-2 Boston heading into the bottom of the third. Right. Okay, leading off for the Red Sox in the top and the bottom of the third is Doyle. Doyle tonight is 1 for 1. He's got a single. Nolan trying to get the Reds out of trouble here. Nolan will get the sign from Bench, and he will pitch. That's a 16. That is a 28. And that will be a ground ball over to short. Grabbing that for the Reds is going to be Concepcion. He will throw that over to first for out number 1. Here's Yaz. Yaz tonight is 0 for 1. He popped out behind the plate. Nolan trying to keep the Reds out of trouble here. He will get the sign from Bench, and he will pitch. 56 for Yaz is going to be a 34. He's a 2, so he won't trigger the ballpark factors. 56 is a 34. That'll be a fly ball. That'll be popped up on the infield. Getting under that at shortstop is going to be Concepcion. He will make the catch for out number 2. Here's Pudge, speaking of Fisk. Pudge tonight is 0 for 1. Excuse me, Nolan trying to get us out of the third and get me out of master for the time being. Nolan will set, and he will pitch. That's a 24, which is a 13. That should be a strikeout in pretty much every... Why is there no 13 on here? Or do they... Oh, yeah. Okay, so that will be a strikeout, just like I thought. And that'll do it for the third inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Red Sox here in the bottom of the third. Still 3-2 Boston after 3. Oop, not that one. There we go. Now back to basic. Back to basic as we get set for the top of the fourth. And leading off for the Reds, we've got Perez. Perez tonight has a single. Tiant looking in at Pudge for the sign. Let me make one more note here. Nolan can pitch to 27. Tiant can pitch to 31. Okay. Tiant will get the sign from Fisk, and he will pitch. A 45 is a 14. That sounds like a walk. And that'll be a walk almost every day of the week. That'll bring the infield in for double play, and here's Foster. Foster tonight is 0 for 1. He popped out behind the plate as well. Fisk, hoping to help Tiant get out of this inning. Tiant will get the sign from Pudge, and he will pitch. 15 is going to be an 8, and that sounds like it's going to be... Well, actually, I was going to say, sounds like it's going to be trouble. Tiant is a B pitcher, so that's going to be a ground ball over to third. Making the throw across the diamond is going to be Petrocelli. That'll be 1 out in the inning. Oop. Perez will go to second on the play. Probably a slow hit grounder. Here's Concepcion. Concepcion tonight is 1 for 1. He's got the 2-run bomb. That was our initial scoring. So we'll go to the runner on second chart. Yep. Tiant will get the sign from Pudge. He will set, and he will pitch. He'd love to get... Actually, Concepcion would love it if Tiant got the sign from bench. 61 is a 12. 12 is going to be a strikeout. 2 outs in the inning. And the batter now is Geronimo. Geronimo tonight has a walk. Tiant hoping to get the Red Sox out of the inning. He will get the sign from Pudge, and he will pitch. 43 for Geronimo is a 29, which sounds... That'll be a ground ball. That'll be a ground ball over to first. Tiant will come over to take the throw, and that will retire the side. Nothing across except the walk for the Reds in that inning. And it's still 3-2 Red Sox as we get set for the bottom of the fourth. I was trying to think what inning it was for a second there. 3-2 Red Sox as we get set for the bottom of the fourth. Batter now is Lynn. Lynn tonight has the solo bomb that started Boston's scoring. Nolan will get the sign from bench. He will set, and he will pitch. 52 is going to be a 27. And once we change our charts back, 27 is going to be a ground ball over to third. Grabbing that for the Reds is Rose. He'll throw that across the diamond. 1 out in the inning. Here's Petrocelli. Petrocelli tonight is 1 for 1. He's got a single as well. Part of the 3-run second that let the Red Sox take the lead. Nolan will get the sign from bench, and he will pitch. 41, we'll say that is. 41 is a 24. And that'll be a ground ball over to first. That'll be a ground ball over to short, I should say. Grabbing that will be Concepcion. He'll make the play over to first. 2 outs in the inning. Here's Evans. Evans tonight is 1 for 1. He's got this 2-run bomb that gave the Red Sox the lead. Nolan will get the sign from bench, and he will pitch. That is a 12, which is a 25. That sounds very outish. Then that'll be a ground ball over to second. Morgan will get that one. He'll throw it over to first, and that will retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Red Sox here in the bottom of the fourth. Boston, though, holding on to a 3-2 lead after 4. Switching back to the Merino boards. Top of the fifth brings Nolan to the batter's box. Nolan struck out his first time up. Tiant looking in at Pudge for the sign. He will set, and he will pitch. And, of course, it goes under the business card holder again. 42 is a 13. That'll probably be that'll be a strikeout in pretty much any mode of APBA that you could think of. 1 down. That is just the 3rd strikeout for Tiant tonight. Here's Rose. Rose tonight is 0 for 2. Hit King, not doing much hitting tonight. Actually, I'm going to grab a dice tray. That way I stop having problems with the dice rolling under the business card holder. As long as I remember that I've got a dice tray to roll them into. Tiant will get the sign from Fisk, and he will pitch. A 44 is a 7. Let's see. So he's an 11, a 0. That'll stay a 7. And that'll be a base hit for Rose. No surprise there. That'll be his first hit of the night. Infield set for double play. That'll bring us to Griffey. Griffey tonight is 0 for 2. Go to runner on first base. Tiant will get the sign from Fisk, and he will pitch. 34 for Griffey will be a 31, and I don't think Griffey... Let's see, Griffey was a 2, so with 1 out, that won't trigger the chart. So the 31 will stand. And that'll be a fly ball into center field. Getting under that one is going to be Lynn. He'll make the catch for out number 2. And that'll bring up Morgan. Morgan tonight is 0 for 2. Actually, he's 0 for 1 with a walk. Rose on at first. Tiant will get the sign from Fisk. He will set, and he will pitch. That's a 61, which is a 12. Let's see, 11 against a righty. Tiant, I believe, is a righty. Oh, yep, he does throw right. So that'll turn into a 12, and the 61 was a 12. So that'll actually be a ground ball over to first. Picking that up will be Cooper. He'll make the play over to first himself, and that will retire the side. Nothing across except the single for the Reds. Still 3-2 Boston as we get set for the bottom of the 5th. Nolan can pitch to... Nolan's actually still got a lot left in the tank as we get set for the bottom of the 5th here. Leading off is Burleson. Burleson tonight is 0 for 1. Nolan getting a sign from bench. 3-2 Red Sox, bottom of the 5th. Nolan will set, and he will pitch. 34 for Burleson. That is a 31, which I believe that will trigger the... So first we go to bases empty, then a 31. Would be a fly to center field, but because he's a 2 on the ballpark factors, yep, he will trigger the chart. Boston is only a 3 on the ballpark factors, which a 65 will not do that any day of the week. Nope, that'll be a 35, so the fly out to center field will stand. Coming under that will be Geronimo. He'll make the catch for out number 1. And here's Tiant. Tiant also struck out his first time up. Nolan trying to keep it right where it is. He will get the sign from bench, and he will pitch. 53 is a 21, and that's going to be a ground ball over to first. Picking that up is going to be Perez. Actually, he's a... Yeah, that'll be... So Perez will get that himself. He'll take that to the bag. 2 outs in the inning. And here's Cooper. Cooper tonight has 2 strikeouts. Nolan would love to stick him with another one. He will get the sign from bench, and he will pitch. 55 is a 7. He's a 12 minus 5, so that'll make Nolan a 17. But I don't think even a 17 can take a 7 away. Nope. That'll be a base hit for Cooper. So Cooper keeps the inning going with a single. And of course my pencil went flying on me. Here's Doyle, the second baseman. Doyle tonight is 1 for 2. He's got a single. Nolan looking in at bench for the sign. He will set and he will pitch. A 14 is a 30. That'll be a fly ball all day long. Yep, that'll be a fly ball into left field. Getting under that one is Foster. He will make the catch, and that will retire the side. Nothing across except the single for the Red Sox. We've played 5. Boston with a 3-2 lead. Tiant with plenty left in the tank. He can pitch to 31 batters. He's got a lot of... 8, 9, 31. He can pitch to 10 more batters, it looks like, before he tires. Leading off the top of the 6th, we've got Bench. Bench tonight is 0 for 2. Tiant will get the sign from Pudge. He will set, and he will pitch. That's a 56, which is a 34. That will almost certainly trigger the chart, and it will. Okay, let's see if Bench can tie the game here. Actually, a 30... What was that? A 56 was a 34, so that's going to start off as... 34 is going to start off with a pop fly to short. So let's see if if Bench can tie the game for the Reds. A 13 will tie the game, as Bench will get that one out of here with a boom! High, deep, gone. Home run, Johnny Bench. And we are tied at 3 here at Fenway Park. Stadium groans. Ugh. And here's Perez. Perez tonight is 1 for 1 with a single and a walk. Tiant trying to shake that one off. He will get the sign from Fisk, and he will pitch. 22, that seems like it's going to be a problem. A 7. He's an 11 minus 1 is a 12, but a 7 will probably... Oh, wait, let's change our chart. So a 12, a 7, nope, that'll still be a base hit. So Perez will get to first, and now we want to change our charts. Infield will come in for double play. And here's Foster. We'll let Foster tonight is 0 for 2. We'll let him get some warm-up swings in while I take care of something in the kitchen. I will be right back. And we're back. Let's just make sure the camera is still all good. Okay. Anyway, Foster, as we established, is 0 for 2. Tiant trying to work around a solo shot, and now a base hit by Perez. He will get the sign from Pudge, and he will pitch. 51 by Foster. That's an 8. So Tiant against the lefty, that won't change anything. 11 to an 8. That'll be a base hit, and the runner will move to second. So the Reds suddenly have something going on here. Yikes. Batter now is Concepcion. Concepcion tonight, I know we've got runner on first and second. There we go. Concepcion tonight is 1 for 2. He's got a... Was that a solo or a 2-run shot? That looks like a 2-run shot. Both teams playing long ball tonight. Tiant will get the sign from fifth, and he will pitch. That's a 62, which is a 32, and I'm pretty sure Concepcion triggers the chart with nobody out. He does. So 62, a 32... That would be a fly to right field. So that would potentially be an F9, but the Reds, with a great opportunity here to take the lead. Actually, wait a second. 6th inning, I should be using Master, which I don't think that result's going to change that much. So 62 was a 32. Oh, boy. Fly out. Well, it's going to trigger the chart anyway before I get into all this nonsense. Well, I guess the ballpark factors wanted to spare me from the nonsense in the Master game because that 13 is a 3 and the Reds are a 6, so that's a 3-run homer by Concepcion with a boom! High, deep, gone. Cesar Concepcion does it again. 6-3 Reds. Arena barfs. Blah. And we're going to get some activity in the Red Sox bullpen as Nolan is going to step into the batter's box. Nolan tonight has got 2... Actually, Geronimo should be in the batter's box next. We are going to get some activity in the Red Sox bullpen, though. As coming in to pitch for the Red Sox, or starting to get loose, will be... Who do they want to get warming up here? They're going to get Willow Willoughby warming up. Well, the ballpark factors had my back on that one, so we didn't have a lot of the nonsense to deal with. That's a lot of home runs. You're wondering about the ballpark factors too. Yeah, so am I, to be perfectly honest. That's why I was trying to find out early. That's why I was so curious earlier about the... That's why I was so curious earlier about how many home runs Fenway Park had actually hit. Either I'm doing something wrong, or Fenway Park was a lot more of a launching pad than I thought it was. But we're going to stick with it for at least a little bit here. Tiant will get the sign from Pudge as the Red Sox are now facing a disaster here. Tiant will set, and he will pitch. That's a 54, which is a 32. And again, I'm pretty sure Geronimo triggers it as well. Yeah, Geronimo triggers it as well. But a 52 that one won't get out of the park. That'll be a 26, and that'll be a fly ball into, I believe that was going to be a fly ball into center field. Coming under that is going to be Lynn for finally the first out of the inning. One down finally, and now here's Nolan. Nolan with 2 strikeouts tonight. Oh, and, yeah. Okay. Tiant will get the sign from Fisk, and he will pitch. That's a 23, which is a 13. That'll probably be a strikeout in any mode of APBA. Yep. That will be a strikeout, as Nolan has struck out all 3 times he's been at the plate. 2 down, and the batter now is Rose. Rose tonight is 1 for 3. Tiant now starting to get down to it. He will get the sign from Pudge, and he will pitch. That's a 43, which is a 29, and that will be grounded right back to Tiant. He will throw it over to first, and that'll finally retire the side. But the Reds get some damage here in the inning. 4 runs on 4 hits, 2 bombs, a solo shot by Johnny Bench, and a 3-run variety by Dave Concepcion. 6-3 Reds as we head into the bottom of the 6th. And if you want to try these ballpark factors too, in case you're curious, Jester, they are a $4 download on the new APBA website. You can even use them with seasons that don't have the master symbols. But yeah, I'm with you on these ballpark factors so far. I'm wondering about I'm wondering about how realistic they are, and B, they don't feel very intuitive to me at all. So it's just, I don't know. Other systems bring the stadium in a lot better. I even honestly like how Strat brings the stadiums in better. But systems like Payoff Pitch, Season Ticket, and Fall Classic, I really like how they bring the stadium in. Even History Maker Baseball, which I was playing off the channel earlier this week, just abstracts the stadium down, but it does feel like the stadium matters in that one. Anywho, that ramble aside, it's a download. And if they still had it behind a shipping wall, anyway, let's bring Yaz up to the plate. Yaz tonight is over 2. If they had to print them out and ship them, I wouldn't have wasted my time with these. I probably would be looking at what do I do with my APBA seasons. Even something like Season Ticket to me is a lot. I don't know. Just Season Ticket and Payoff Pitch to me feel like they're a lot better in how they bring the stadiums in. It feels much easier to. It doesn't feel bolted on. The ballpark doesn't feel bolted on in those systems the way it does here. If that makes sense to you. Anyway, Nolan will get the sign from Bench, and he will pitch. 45. That's a 14. That should be a walk all day long, and it won't be. Nolan's actually a ZZ. So that'll be 2 balls, and we'll pitch again. That's a 44, which is an 8. Let's see, 12 minus 1, that'll bring him up to a 13, an 8 hold on. 12, 13 to an 8. 13 to an 8 will turn that into a 31, which actually will probably trigger Yaz on the ballpark factors. It will. Red Sox are only a 3, though. 13 or less, and this ball's out. And it's a 21, so that won't get out of here. The fly ball will stand. Yeah. The fly ball will stand. So that'll be a fly ball into center field. Getting under that one is going to be Geronimo. He will make the catch for 1 out in the inning. Here's Fisk. He's going to have to do some serious heroics with waving a lot of these balls fair. Fisk tonight is 0 for 2. He's not helping at all. Nolan will get the sign from bench, and he will pitch. And we can take that away, by the way. 13 is a 14. That'll be, actually, that's not going to be a walk, so I didn't even need to move that yet. 2 balls on Fisk. And we will pitch again. 45, that's a 14, and now it will be a walk, because that'll be 2 more balls on Fisk. But that'll be ball 4, and Fisk will take first base. Infield will move to double play depth, and here's Lynn. Lynn tonight is 1 for 2. He's got a solo bomb. Let's see, runner on first. Nolan will get the sign from bench, and he will pitch. 23 is a 26. Okay, safe at first on fielder's choice. Runner out at second. Now, he's not a slow batter, so we weren't playing for the sacrifice. So that'll be a fielder's choice over to second. Fisk will be thrown out. Okay, so that'll be a 6-3. 6-3 fielder's choice. 2 outs in the inning. Batter now is Petrocelli. Petrocelli tonight is 1 for 2. He's got a single. So 2 outs, 6-3 Reds here, bottom of the 6th. Nolan will get the sign from bench. He will set, and he will pitch. 24 is a 13. That'll be a strikeout all day long. And it is. That will retire the side. Nothing across except the walk for the Red Sox. And it is now 6-3 Reds after 6. Tiant can pitch to 3 more batters before he tires. Leading off is Griffey Sr. Senior tonight is 0 for 3. Reds with a 6-3 lead in the top of the 7th. Tiant will get the sign from Pudge, and he will pitch. 25 is an 8. 11 minus 3, so that's going to be a 14. Oh, wait. What am I doing? I'm using basic in this inning. So what do we say? 25 was an 8. Tiant is still a B pitcher, so that's going to be a fly ball into center field. Coming under that one's going to be Lynn. He will make the catch for out number 1. Morgan, now the batter. Morgan tonight is 0 for 2. He's got a walk, though. Tiant will get the sign from Pudge, and he will pitch. 52 is a 27, and that'll be grounded over to third. Picking that one up is going to be Petrocelli. He'll make the play. 2 outs in the inning. Batter now is Bench. Bench tonight is 1 for 3, but that one was a solo bomb that tied the game back in the 6th. Right? Yes. Tiant will be tired after Bench. He will get the sign from Pudge, and he will pitch. That's a 61, which is a 12. And that's going to be a ground ball over to third. Picking that one up is Petrocelli. He'll make the play, and that will retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Reds here in the bottom of the 7th. Tiant is now tired. 6-3 Reds as we get set for the 7th inning stretch. Sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game. I will take a small break. check on some of the scores here tonight, because I'm kind of curious about the real-life baseball scores. So bear with me while I pull up MLB.com. Looks like we are tied at 1 after 2 in real life between the Cubs and the Brewers tonight, Game 5 of the 2025 NLDS. Anyway, we are back here where Nolan can pitch to 3 more batters before he tires. So we're going to get some activity in the Reds bullpen as well. As coming in to pitch for the Reds is going to be... who's their closer? Because I'm going to save him for the 9th. I think they're going to get Raleigh Eastwick warming up here. Leading off the bottom of the 7th for the Red Sox, we've got Evans. Evans tonight is 1 for 2 with a 2-run bomb. Red Sox haven't gotten anything on the board since the 2nd. Nolan will get the sign from bench, and he will pitch. 16 is a 28, and that will be a ground ball over to short. Grabbing that for the Reds is going to be Concepcion. He will make the play over to first. 1 out in the inning. Here's Burleson. Burleson tonight is 0 for 2. Nolan looking in at bench for the sign. He will be tired after the pinch hitter for Tiant. Nolan will set, and he will pitch. 52, that's a 27, and that will be another ground ball over to third. Rose grabbing that one. He'll make the play over to first. 2 outs in the inning. We'll see a pinch hitter in for Tiant. He will be done. Coming in to pinch hit for the Red Sox will be... who do they want to bring in to pinch hit? Tony Conigliaro is going to come in to pinch hit for the Red Sox. 123 average. Looks like he didn't play much. 2 homers, 9 RBIs in 75. Conigliaro. Okay. Nolan will get the sign from bench, and he will pitch. 25 is a 14. That'll be a... Actually, it's a ZZ pitcher, so that'll be 2 balls on Conigliaro, which means Nolan will pitch again. That's a 53. That'll be a 17, and that'll probably be outish. That'll be a fly ball into right field. Coming under that one's going to be Griffey. He will make the catch, and that will retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Red Sox here in the bottom of the 7th. 6-3 Reds after 7. Compile stats on Tiant here. He went 7 innings, gave up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 hits, 6 runs, all were earned. 2, 3 walks, struck out 3, 4. No hit batters, faced 31. And no wild pitches, so we won't worry about that. Coming in to pitch for the Red Sox, though, is going to be Willow Willoughby. 5-2 with 8 saves. This is, of course, not a save situation. 3.54 ERA, 16 walks, 29 strikeouts, 6 home runs in 75. He will be charged with the middle of the Reds order. Perez leading off the top of the 8th for the Reds. And I'm going to go back to the Merino boards for this one. Perez tonight is 2 for 2 with 2 singles and a walk. Willoughby looking in at Fisk for the sign. Reds in total control of this game. Willoughby will set and he will pitch. That's a 61, which is a 12. And that'll be a ground ball over to first. Picking that up is going to be Cooper. He'll make the play, out number 1. Foster, now the batter. Actually, I should make sure I mark that Nolan's tired. Foster tonight is 1 for 3. Willoughby looking in at Pudge for the sign, and he will pitch. Willoughby with a 52. That'll be a 27. And a 27 is going to be not an ex-pitcher, so that'll be a ground ball over to third. Rose will grab that one, toss it across the diamond. 2 outs in the inning. And here's Concepcion. Concepcion tonight is 2 for 3, and he's got 2 bombs. Probably player of the game, if I had to guess. He's got 5 RBIs, it looks like. He's responsible for 5 of the 6 Reds runs tonight. Willoughby will get the sign from Pudge, and he will pitch. A 66 is a 0. Uh-oh, second column. That's a 52, which is a 6. Let's see, he's an 8. -1 will turn him into a 9. 52 is a 6. We'll drop down, and that'll turn into a double. Concepcion extending the inning here with a 2-out 2-bagger. Batter now is Geronimo. Geronimo tonight is 0 for 2 with a walk. Willoughby looking into Pudge for the sign. He will set and he will pitch. 36 is a 14. And that, in theory, it looks like that'll be actually just a straight-up walk. We'll see a pinch hitter for Nolan as he's done his job. So the Reds are going to go to the bench. Coming in to pinch hit for the Reds is going to be it's going to be Daryl Cheney. 219 average, 2 home runs, 26 RBIs in 1975. He's going to be charged with trying to get Concepcion and Geronimo both home. Willoughby will get the sign from Pudge, and he will pitch. 31 is a 14. And wow, what he's going to do here is actually 2 balls. So hold that thought. Cheney hasn't done anything yet. Instead, we will pitch again. 65 is a 35. That sounds very outish. He's not a W, so that'll get popped up behind the plate. Pudge will throw his mask. He'll get that one, and that will retire the side. A walk and a double, but the Reds aren't able to do anything with it to extend their lead. Still 6-3 Reds as we get set for the bottom of the 8th. I thought we had somebody warming up in the... Oh, we did have somebody... Okay, that was... Oh, right, Willoughby is a Red Sox pitcher. Duh. Herp. Nolan is going to come out of the game. Let me compile stats for Nolan. He went 7 innings, gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, all earned. No walks. No, actually 1 walk. Struck out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No hit batters. Nolan currently in line for the win tonight. Coming in to pitch for the Reds. Is going to be Raleigh Eastwick. 5-3 with a 2.60 ERA and 22 saves. He might have been the closer, actually. 25 walks, 61 strikeouts, 6 homers in 75. They might ask him to get a 6-out save tonight, which would theoretically close out the 1975 World Series. Top of the order for the Red Sox, here's Cooper to lead off. Cooper tonight, though, is 1 for 3 with a single and 2 strikeouts. Eastwick will get the sign from bench, and he will pitch. That's a 16, which is a 28. Once we go back to our right chart on the Merino boards, 28. That'll be grounded over to short. He's not a K pitcher. That'll be grounded over to short, where Concepcion will get that one. He'll throw it over to first for out number 1. And here's Doyle. Doyle tonight is 1 for 3. 1 out here in the inning. Eastwick getting the sign from the bench, and he will pitch. A 66. Uh-oh, that's a 0. That's going to be a second column result. 35 is going to be a 6. So he's a 15 minus 4 will turn him into a 19. And a 19 won't be able to screw with a 6. That'll be a double for Doyle. And the Red Sox suddenly get a run to try to cut into this lead. Here's Yaz. Yaz tonight is 0 for 3. Eastwick looking in at bench for the sign, trying to work around a 1-out double. Eastwick will set, and he will pitch. 42 is a 14, and that's going to be a walk for Yaz. And all of a sudden, the tying run is now coming to the plate. And the tying run is in the form of Carlton Fisk. The infield will go to double play depth. Fisk tonight has been very quiet, though. He is 0 for 2 with a walk. Red Sox would love him to bust this one open, to get this one tied. Eastwick trying to get the Reds out of the inning. Eastwick will get the sign from bench, and he will pitch. 32 is a 26. That won't do anything for them. That'll be an infield fly. That'll get popped up to second base. Infield fly rule is called. Fisk will be out. 2 outs in the inning. Stadium groans. Ugh. Here's Lynn. Lynn tonight is 1 for 3, but he's got a bomb tonight. 2 outs, bottom of the 8th. Reds lead 6 to 3. Eastwick gets the sign from bench. He will set, and he will pitch. 31 is a 13, and that's going to be a strikeout. That'll be a strikeout all day long, and the Red Sox get Bubkiss out of this. A double and a walk, but the Red Sox can't do anything with it. 6-3 Reds as we get set for the top of the 9th. And in theory, I should be going to the Master game, but I just don't trust myself enough with the Master game, so I'm going to go back to Basic to finish this game out, especially since there's still a couple things I want to do before I go to bed tonight. So I want to make sure I get this done as fast as I can. Top of the ninth coming up, and leading off the top of the ninth for the Reds is going to be one Pete Rose. Rose tonight is 1 for 4. He's got a single. Willoughby trying to keep this game right where it is and hope for some ninth inning magic. Willoughby will get the sign from Fisk, and he will pitch. 45, that's a 14. That's not going to help because that will be a walk. Infield set for double play. Here's Griffey. Griffey tonight is 0 for 4. Nobody out here in the top of the ninth. Reds trying to get more. Willoughby will set, and he will pitch. 42 is a 14, and that's going to be another walk. Actually, no, he is a Z pitcher, so that'll be 2 balls on Griffey. And we will do it again. 31 is a 9, and against a grade C pitcher, a 9 is going to be a ground ball over to third. Throwing that across the diamond is going to be Petrocelli. He'll make the play over to first for 1 out. Rose will move to second. And here's Morgan. Morgan tonight is 0 for 3. He's got a walk, though. Rose over at second with a huge insurance run. Willoughby will get the sign from Pudge, and he will pitch. 14 is a 30, and I believe Morgan, in his situation with the ballpark factors, Morgan is a 2, so he doesn't trigger the ballpark factor chart, which means 14 is a 30. And that'll be a fly ball into left field. Getting under that one is going to be Yaz. He'll make the catch. 2 outs in the inning. Here's Bench. Bench tonight is 1 for 4, but that one was a solo bomb. 2 outs, top of the ninth. Willoughby gets the sign from Pudge, and he will pitch. Willoughby with a 21. That's a 13. That'll be a strikeout. That'll be a strikeout for almost anybody. And that will retire the side. Nothing across except the walk. 6-3 Reds as we get set for the bottom of the ninth. But will we see some ninth inning magic? We would have to see a lot of ninth inning magic for this game to end any differently. And unfortunately for the Red Sox, they've got the mid-bottom of their order coming up as Eastwick is looking to finish this game off. Here is... wait a second. I almost forgot something. Right. Okay. Here's Petrocelli. Petrocelli tonight is 1 for 3. Eastwick trying to finish this game off for the Reds. Actually, let me get those pegs out of the way. Eastwick will get the sign from Bench, and he will pitch. 61 is a 12. And that's going to be a ground ball over to third. Rose will throw that across the diamond for out number 1. Here's Evans. Evans tonight is 1 for 3, but that one was a 2-run bomb. Eastwick will get the sign from Bench. He will set, and he will pitch. 65 is a 35. That sounds like it's going to be that'll be a ground ball over to first. Picking that up will be Perez. He'll take that over the bag himself. 2 outs in the inning. And the last chance for the Red Sox comes to Paul Burleson, or Rick Burleson. Burleson tonight, though, is 0 for 3. Reds trying to get this last out. Red Sox hoping to extend it and get a pinch hitter. Eastwick looking in at Bench. Fans here at Fenway Park are loud. Eastwick will set, and he will pitch. That's a 31, which is a 14, and he is a Z pitcher, but that'll be a walk. Burleson will extend it. Willoughby is going to come out of the game. The Red Sox are going to go to the bench once again. And coming into bat, is going to be Jim Rice. 309 average, 22 homers, 102 RBIs in 75. His job is to try to get on base and extend this game. Bring the tying run in Cooper to the plate. Eastwick will get the sign from bench. Fans here at Fenway Park are allowed once again. He will set, and he will pitch. That's a 54, that's a 32, and it's a fly ball into right field. He's not a K pitcher, so yep, that'll be a fly ball into right field. Getting under that one is Griffey. He'll take a couple steps back, put out his glove, blop, and the ball will fall into it. That's your game. The Cincinnati Reds win this one by a final score of 6-3. Arena, or stadium, groans. Ugh. I'm so used to arena groans from hockey, so you'll have to excuse me on that one. Final line score coming up, as I need to compile stats here. Let's see. One... For the Reds, 6 runs on 8 hits and no errors. For the Red Sox, 3 runs on 6 hits and no errors. Winning pitcher tonight is going to be Gary Nolan. Louis Tiant will take the loss, and Raleigh Eastwick will get the save. And that'll do it for this playthrough of APBA Baseball. So the purpose of this was just to see what I thought of the basic Merino and the Master game. As you guys could probably see, I was definitely fighting with the Merino boards, and the Master game still kind of scares the living daylights out of me. Especially since when the 9th came up, I basically snapped and went right back to basic. So I still don't think I'm ready for the Master game on that, especially given how much I was fighting with the Merino boards there especially in the second inning, when that was the first inning with the Merino boards. So I'm definitely still going to be a while with looking at the Master game. Now the ballpark factors, oh boy. I don't know if I was just rolling the dice, if I was just that lucky rolling the dice, or what was going on, but it seemed like every time I had was triggering the ballpark factors, it was just hitting it out. And like I said, I don't know if that was just a product of the roll or how that went, but not even doing everything with the Master Edition rules. No, admittedly, I'm not doing everything with the Master Edition rules, but have to roll for steals, which I don't know. The way I kind of glanced a little bit at the Master Edition rules, and it seems like rolling for steals it seems like when you can steal is very cumbersome to figure out to me. It seems like it's a point where the way it seems to me is you can only steal during a full moon. It's basically going to end up being a convoluted process, and I don't want to get hit. Have to roll for steals, drop balls. Yeah, it looks like there's a lot more rolling in there, where I could very easily lose track of the rolls, unless I start adding in a whole mess of dice. and say, okay, this is for this is for that, da 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 da. I could see myself getting confused with that very easily. So, fortunately, I don't have to figure out what I'm doing in terms of in terms of 2001, because that replay is going to be in 2001 is going to be in payoff pitch. So I'm not really worried about APBA. This was just to kind of get my feel for what I think of APBA, what I think of the more advanced systems of APBA baseball. And I think at this point, I'm probably going to have to roll it and see if it's defense 1, 2, or 3. And admittedly, I wasn't hitting a lot with APBA baseball. It seemed like the innings that I was in Master, I was only seeing. The innings that I was in Master, I think mostly went 1, 2, 3. Or there wasn't too much involved with it. Yeah, the third was 1, 2, 3 for both teams. The sixth had something extra for the Red Sox. And then the Reds went 1, 2, 3 in the sixth. So I guess I didn't really get a true feel for how the Master game works. But even the glance I took at the charts was enough to kind of scare me off from those. So I'm rambling a bit, but the main test was with the ballpark factors, and I'm not sure if I trust those. I'm not sure if I like those ballpark factors. It's just, to me, it seemed like it was very cumbersome to get over to the ballpark factors chart, whereas with the aforementioned payoff pitch and season ticket, it's very easy. Where if you roll it on the pitcher card in payoff pitch, then boom, you're onto the ballpark. Similar to season ticket, if you roll a 6, you're on the ballpark sheet. So it's very easy in those two systems, and even in something like inside pitch, where if there's the @ symbol that sends you over to the park, very easy to do. Whereas it seemed like it was bolted on. It seems like it was bolted on here for APBA, and maybe I'm a little bit crazy in that, Jester. You play a lot more APBA baseball than I do, and admittedly you have played a lot more APBA baseball than I have. So you can tell me what you think of the ballpark factors as you were watching me try these tonight. I'm rambling a bit, so let's wrap this video up because I got a couple things I got to get to yet before I turn in for the night. So tomorrow morning, the fall campaign will continue in B-17 Flying Fortress Leader by DVG. Tomorrow afternoon, I've got another game lined up, but I'll hold that close to the vest. Wednesday, we're continuing our background campaign of Hero Realms, and Saturday next week, Mystical Munchies will continue for Redo Month as we go back to the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge Black Spire Outpost Cookbook as we make the dessert Kowakian Crumb Cake. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a APBA ballpark factors, he says, are not something that you think is good. That was kind of the feeling I was getting as well. But anyway, thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications to get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care, everyone.